I was restocking perfume bottles on the fourth floor of the downtown Chicago department store, half asleep through my closing shift, when the security alarm blared. Everyone groaned. It was the fourth lockdown drill that month, and we were already 45 minutes past clockout. Mia, our floor manager, stopped mid-rant about missing inventory, her walkie-talkie frozen in her hand. All right, line up by the service door, she said, her voice flat. We shuffled over, half of us still scrolling TikTok, the rest complaining about missing our buses. Jake, our stock boy, was still shoveling Cheetos into his mouth. No one rushed. Drills were just a pain in the ass, a way for corporate to waste our time. But Mia wasn't opening the door. She stood there, hand on the handle, staring through the small window into the hallway. Her face, usually sharp and unflappable, had gone completely white. Mia, I said, stepping forward. We need to get this over with. She didn't move. Then she turned the lock. The sharp click echoed over the blaring alarm, and every single one of us went quiet. Mia turned to face us, her finger pressed to her lips, and whispered for words that made my blood turn to ice. This one's real. Jake's bag of Cheetos hit the floor with a crinkle. Lila, the girl who worked the makeup counter, dropped her phone, the screen shattering on the tile. No one moved. No one breathed. Mia waved her hands frantically, motioning us away from the windows and the door. We dropped to the floor, crawling to the back corner of the stockroom, our shoes scraping the tile. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely grip the carpet. I kept telling myself this was a new drill, some stupid corporate test we hadn't been warned about. But Mia's hands were trembling as she mashed the buttons on her walkie-talkie, and I'd never seen her look terrified in the 2 years I'd worked here. That's when I smelled it. Gasoline. Thick, acrid, seeping under the door and curling up toward the ceiling. Mia's walkie-talkie crackled to life. Security's voice panicked. Fire in the loading dock. Incendiary device. Stairwells are fully engulfed. Sprinkler systems offline. All floors. Do not evacuate to the stairs. Someone started crying. I realized it was me. We're on the fourth floor. Jake whispered, his voice cracking. How the hell do we get out? Mia didn't answer right away. She was staring at her phone, waiting for a reply from the fire department, her jaw tight. The smoke was getting thicker by the second, stinging my eyes. I pulled my hoodie over my nose and mouth, but it barely helped. Then her eyes locked on the storage closet. She lunged for it, yanking the door open, and pulled out a thick, braided rope. The rigging rope we'd used to hang the holiday window displays back in December. The one corporate had been nagging us to throw out for months. She dragged it over to the 500-pound steel jewelry display, the one bolted to the concrete floor, and tied one end around the base in 3 tight knots. She pulled on it with all her weight, 3 separate times, to test it. Then she threw the other end out the broken display window, the cold winter air rushing in. Not long enough to hit the ground, she said, her voice ragged. But it'll get you to the second floor awning. Maybe an 8-foot drop after that. She looked at all of us, huddled in the corner. Who's going first? I don't know what made me raise my hand. Maybe I couldn't stand the smoke burning my lungs anymore. Maybe I just wanted to stop waiting to die. But I crawled to the window, grabbed the rope with shaking hands, and climbed out onto the ledge. The rope burned my palms as I lowered myself down, hand over hand. I could hear sirens in the distance, getting louder. When I hit the end of the rope, I looked down at the awning below. It was still terrifying, but behind me, I could see the fourth floor hallway glowing orange through the door. I let go. I hit the awning hard, rolling off onto the grass below. Something cracked in my wrist, but I was alive that I rolled onto my back as Lila started down the rope. The fire department arrived as the 6th employee hit the ground. Mia came last. Her boots hit the grass just as the fourth floor window exploded in flames behind her. We survived. 3 broken bones, a handful of burns, smoke inhalation, but we made it. The investigation later revealed a disgruntled former employee had set the device. The fire spread so fast the stairwells were gone in 4 minutes. Every other employee on every other floor followed protocol, evacuated to the stairwells. They all died. Mia got a medal for heroism. At the ceremony, she cried the whole time, kept saying she should have noticed the threat sooner, moved faster, saved more people. I think about it every time I hear an alarm go off. How close we came. How one woman's split-second instinct to break the rules saved us. Sometimes the drill isn't a drill. Sometimes survival depends on someone willing to ignore the rulebook to keep you alive.